Why are people watching the show now?
I think from what I'm hearing from people is that Little House on the Prairie is a reminder of when things were simpler for us in our lives.
You thought Little House on the Prairie was all heartwarming lessons and golden sunsets? Think again. Behind the wholesome scenes and loving families was a world of hidden drama, silent exits, and emotional breakdowns. Cast members didn't just leave, they escaped. Power struggles, unfair treatment, and creative clashes tore the show apart from the inside. Why did your favorite stars disappear without a word? What really happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Stay with us, because the truth behind Little House is nothing like the story you saw on screen. From the moment Melissa Gilbert stepped on set as Laura Ingalls, she was more than just a child actor. She became the heartbeat of the show. She grew up on screen, transforming from the barefoot girl running across fields into the emotional centerpiece of the series. But as the show matured, so did her responsibilities. When Michael Landon started pulling back from his iconic role as Charles Ingalls, all eyes turned to Melissa. She felt the pressure mount. The innocent dream of acting turned into a heavy burden, where she carried the expectations of an entire cast and fan base. As the seasons passed, Melissa Gilbert began to feel stuck. She had spent years living as Laura Ingalls, a role she cherished, but she was also curious about who she could be beyond Walnut Grove. Could she sing? Star in films? Could she escape being typecast? The show eventually ended, but no one from the production even informed her. It was Victor French, her co-star, who told her the news. A show that defined her youth ended without a single courtesy call. That silence stung deeply. Still, Melissa chose dignity. She helped steer the final iteration, Little House, a new beginning, and played a pivotal role in producing 3 farewell TV movies. These were not just episodes for her, they were personal. Each scene was a heartfelt goodbye to her childhood, her character, and the millions who grew up watching her. When it truly ended, Melissa didn't make a grand Hollywood exit. She quietly moved with her husband, Timothy Busfield, to a cottage in the Catskills, far away from the spotlight. For the first time in years, she was just Melissa, not Laura. She chose peace over fame. While Melissa Gilbert faced the pressure of becoming the face of the show, Michael Landon bore an even heavier load. He wasn't just Pa Ingalls, he was the visionary behind Little House on the Prairie. He wrote scripts, directed key episodes, oversaw casting, and kept the emotional tone consistent. For a while, it worked beautifully. He brought the same emotional intelligence from his earlier hit, Bonanza, infusing the show with warmth, strength, and heart. But after years of juggling every role, Michael Landon started to crack under the pressure. NBC executives pushed for modernization, faster pacing, and younger faces. Meanwhile, the father-daughter dynamic between Charles and Laura, once the emotional center, was losing impact as Laura became a wife and mother. Landon recognized that continuing his role would mean faking authenticity. So, he made a difficult decision: to step back from acting on the show, though he remained involved behind the camera. His integrity wouldn't allow him to mislead the audience. That silent decision marked the beginning of the end for the classic Little House era. After the show wrapped, Landon returned to television with Highway to Heaven. Though set in modern times, the message remained the same: compassion, faith, and helping others. This time, Landon played an angel, sent to guide people through life's toughest moments. It allowed him to continue his storytelling mission, but without the pressures of Walnut Grove. One actress who felt those pressures keenly was Karen Grassle, who portrayed Caroline "Ma" Ingalls. On screen, she was the family's moral compass. Off-screen, she battled inequality. Despite her essential role, Karen found herself increasingly sidelined. She wasn't getting the pay, credit, or storyline depth she deserved. While Michael Landon appreciated talent, he also liked control. And Karen's push for equal pay and creative input created tension between them. Karen Grassle didn't want more money for vanity. She wanted respect and representation. Her character meant a lot to viewers. Many saw their mothers in Caroline Ingalls, yet her contribution was increasingly minimized. When Landon stepped back from acting and the storyline pivoted to Laura's new family, Karen realized her time was up. Without fanfare or farewell, she left before Little House. A new beginning aired. But her departure wasn't an end. She returned to theater, launching a company in Santa Fe, and shined in roles like Driving Miss Daisy, reminding audiences that she was more than just Ma. Another actress who bore a heavy emotional load was Melissa Sue Anderson, known for playing Mary Ingalls. At first, Mary was a typical Prairie girl, but season after season, her character endured constant heartbreak, blindness, child loss, emotional turmoil. Melissa became the show's tragedy queen, and it began to wear on her. She once remarked that the writers seemed to ask, "What horrible thing can happen to Mary this season?" It wasn't satisfying anymore. While others had stories of joy and change, Mary remained stuck in a loop of sorrow. Wanting a future beyond perpetual grief, Melissa Sue Anderson hired top-tier manager Jay Bernstein to help pivot her career. She didn't want roles that pandered to her past. She aimed for adult characters with complexity. Her final scene with Michael Landon was filled with real tears, an honest farewell to her mentor, her character, and her childhood. Afterward, she pursued serious roles and proved there was more to her than sadness and tragedy. Even fan-favorite villains had their struggles. Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson, was the show's firecracker. Rude, snarky, and hilarious, she stole every scene. But by season 6, the writers softened her. Nellie married, settled down, and lost her infamous edge. Allison knew something vital was missing. NBC offered her a 4-year extension, but with no pay raise, no creative freedom, and no growth. She was nearing 30 and didn't want to keep playing the same spiteful teen. So, she walked away. No dramatic exit, no elaborate send-off. Just one line in the script saying Nellie had moved to New York. She returned only once in season 9, but by then, the magic was gone. For Allison, leaving was an act of courage, choosing future potential over staying stagnant. Then there was Katherine McGregor, who lit up the screen as Harriet Olsen, Walnut Grove's Queen of Chaos. Her absence from the farewell movie was explained with a simple line. She was on a spiritual journey in India. But the reality was more complicated. Katherine had clashed with Michael Landon over creative control. She wanted Harriet to be more than a caricature. Landon didn't appreciate the pushback. Tension built up over years, and when the final bow came, McGregor refused to return. It wasn't pettiness. It was emotional self-defense. She later dedicated her life to teaching acting to children in Los Angeles, creating art on her terms. Lastly, we come to Victor French, the rugged, beloved Isaiah Edwards. He brought humor, grit, and warmth to the show. But behind the scenes, he felt overlooked. When the opportunity came to star in a new show, Carter Country, he took it, without telling Michael Landon. Landon saw it as betrayal. In retaliation, he removed Edwards and his entire on-screen family from the script. The friendship fractured. Years later, they reconciled. When Landon created Highway to Heaven, he brought French back, not just as a co-star, but as a trusted partner. Their creative bond healed. They realized that even painful exits could lead to deeper understanding. As the curtain fell on Little House on the Prairie, what remained wasn't just a show. It was a legacy shaped by courage and change. If you were moved by these untold stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes truths of your favorite classics. Thanks for watching.